This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is brought to you by the letter C. No, never mind about that. I mean, this letter, no, not this letter. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is brought to you by our surveys that can be found over at www.gamereliefgo.com. Go ahead and fill those out. Tell us what you think about the podcast, what we can do better. Also, most importantly, what you had for dinner. There's one for listeners as well as for publishers. Now, shall we get on with the episode?
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Over here. No, not up there. Down here. In the closet. Shh. Okay. I got this brand new camera. Don't mind where I got it from. Just shh. All right. I got this brand new camera. And I think we're going to do some awesome reviews. I know. Isn't it great? I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, yes, you're right. We need to do that. We need to put on their clothes. It's going to be so much fun. You know, you're going to be dressed up as Sean. I'm going to be dressed up as Diana. Yes, the bra will fit me. Don't you dare. Don't you even dare. I'll prove it right now. Oh, they're coming.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither. But this is a story of, maybe you remember a little while back ago, I had a favorite podcast that released, variety podcast once a month called TLDR Game Series. They since moved on from the podcast. If you ever wonder what happened, they started making videos, and this is the story of one of their upcoming new video series, and tonight I'm lucky enough to be joined by one of the masterminds and creators behind TLDR Game Series, Marco. Is that correct, Marco? Is that how you fall in line with TLDR Game Series? And also, am I getting the abbreviation right?
Yes, TLDR Game Series, and yes, the creator behind it of TLDR, as well as It's Your Turn Livestream. It's TLDR started as a thought process of, hey, I am tired of reviews being 30 minutes to an hour long when you can give that information in 5 minutes. And then Sean and Diana were the perfect people to be the face of TLDR. And here we are now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Marco.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is phenomenal. I'm surprised you even asked.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and especially that we're so grateful that we're able to get you on last minute like this. But yeah, before we get into all of that TLDR and all that hogamaloo or whatever you want to call it, how about we rewind a little bit? We don't have to go back too far, of course, unless you were born into tabletop board gaming and playing them. But how did you get started into tabletop board games and stuff, Marco?
All right, so there's actually two reasons I got into board gaming. First was actually when I was shortly walking, my father had decided to buy us a board game called Fireball Island. And it was the best thing ever at a young age.
Were you just barely born? Because that was just on Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, the reprint is on Kickstarter, but that game came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Go on. I didn't mean to cut you off. Just got to make sure you're not pre-born. You weren't just barely born or what's not.
That's right. This is a reprint from the phenomenal game in the 80s. So I grew up with that. And, I love board games from that point. But then computer games came out. And I got lost in the computer. But it was back in 2005 No, earlier than that. Oh, so there's three. Warhammer. When I was in middle school, that money sucking beast that was got me to tabletop, and then board games was Catan in 2005.
Oh wow, cool. So it's just been all coming and going. So you went on a hiatus since Warhammer, and then getting back in Catan, and haven't left since.
Yeah, because we did Warhammer for a while, and then finally we're just like, I'm playing with paper armies. I can't afford the pieces anymore, and most everybody else just either just stopped playing or they started painting bullseye targets on the other players' miniatures because we'd always kill them first. So after that, we did D&D for a while, and D&D was great. But really, what got me into board games in itself was Catan. It was a game that you come back from seeing. You're used to playing Monopoly, Life, and all that, and the roll dice and move. It's just not a great mechanic. So then you have Catan, which is still you're rolling dice, but now you're building up cities, you're building roads, you're doing Year of Plenty on yourself to get more resources to even grow your cities bigger. Just I was in awe. And from that point, it's been nonstop. And now I have a collection that's basically kicking me out the door because the house is full.
Oh boy, awesome. So rewinding a little bit to what you were talking about with the whole Warhammer costing a lot of money. This last, the end of the 28th of May, I actually had the creator mastermind behind Through Gamer Goggles, which is a what do you call it? A YouTube channel that is currently doing a Kickstarter to help Matt get a new camera and whatnot. And he talked about, because he had a game store at one point, and he talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games and whatnot. Actually saved them one time. They helped him keep the power on because he had a one day where he had no singles and stuff. And I guess in one day of gaming and whatnot, they actually made $10,000 in just one day.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, if you go to the board game stores now, they specifically have, well, at least most of them have a Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic selection off on its own, where people buy and trade, really expensive cards, limited edition cards, or they buy new packs, and those collectible card games can really bring in great revenue, for local game stores like that. And I'm just kind of glad that the regular tabletop industry is coming back.
Yeah, for sure. I luckily didn't get sucked into the whole collectible card games because when I was in high school, my friends, we played a Middle Earth role playing game, which was a kind of yeah, it was based in Middle Earth. They played it, and then I played with them for quite some time. As soon as I got some money and stuff and wanted to go ahead and invest, I stopped playing. And then the same thing happened with Magic the Gathering. So I missed out on having to spend any money. So that was kind of exciting. But then I actually met, well, she wasn't into board games when I married her. She was actually into books. My wife, she had, before I got married, I never knew that one person could own so many books, and there wasn't even that many books to begin with. And then we just watched them collect and collect since our years of being married. And then luckily, some years back, they come out with Kindle, which actually saved my back from having to move quite a few books as she started getting them on there. And then she ran into, well, before that, I collect the different Uno games. I like to play Uno, and she found some different games. And then she found an evil thing called Kickstarter, and has been going ever since.
That evil temptress, that succubus. That's what Kickstarter is. It's a succubus because you can't keep away from it.
That's true, especially, I know we were talking before the interview started or whatnot, especially for those completionists, and she's unfortunately one of those. Well, fortunately too, but yeah, I got to get them all.
I have a tendency to be a completionist, not as bad as most, but like my roommate, he is probably the worst completionist I've ever seen. The Marvel card game?
Yeah, vaguely, yeah.
He owns everything that they have released. He actually went out and bought the Fantastic Four set on eBay for $120 something, because he had to complete his set.
Oh wow, are there a lot of cards or it's only a couple?
It was a addition, a expansion pack. It was a mini expansion pack that normally would go for like $20, but because they had lost the rights to the Fantastic Four, they stopped printing them for a while, and so he had to go out and buy it on eBay brand new, like I said, $120, something like that. And then 3 months later, guess what came out?
It came out again?
Yes, they got the licensing back, and so
Sucker. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Was he mad or did he sell it on eBay to get his money back and then buy a regular one?
no, because the value was no longer there anymore because they came out.
Oh, there you go. And you said you're about to have to move out of your house because there's too many board games?
So many board games. Like I keep on buying Calyx shelves, and I'm like running out of space already. Like I bought one last month, and I just came back from a convention, and already it's already full.
Oh well, yeah, I believe it. My wife, we a while back ago, she had me set up. I made set up 3 in a day, and we still have one I got to set up sometime. But yeah, it's full with books as well as board games, and I still think there's more board games that haven't been put on the Calyxes or whatnot.
Yeah, I can imagine, because we have actually his stack of games sitting on our coffee table right now, which is a stack of 10 brand new games. I don't know where I'm going to put them.
Oh well, yeah, I guess we'll just have to. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a Marvel card game though, is it?
Yes, that's also on there. He condensed it down to 3 boxes.
So do you guys just have coasters so you can put the coasters on the game board so he doesn't have to take them off the coffee table?
We should. But no, we have those, like the coffee table is off to the side, because right now we have the gaming table set up right in the middle of the family room.
Well, there you go. Awesome. So tell us, so TLDR, what exactly does that stand for?
We interrupt this episode so we can bring you Kickstarter Corner. So free chairs for all games. Please join. It's time for Kickstarter Corner. To begin now.
As she said twice, it's time for Kickstarter Corner. And this time, I beat the system. Well, I've kind of beat the system. I brought the games up before we start. Go ahead. And first off, we've got this one just barely launched yesterday. And I'm excited to tell you about ArenaBots. Now, ArenaBots is a short campaign, shorter than you're aware of. They're only going for 13 more days. ArenaBots is a strategic game of arena type for 2 to 4 players. You play a young pilot of bots in the universe of Eden, and you may still very well be likely to jump on now and you get the early birds. There's a early bird special, which you can get for what you can save, 65. You can save about $6 on the one, and $6 on each of them. So jump on that. They have the pilot and the early bird, and then they have the other one. One of them gets all the stretch goals. Well, they both get all the stretch goals, and then the other one, also on top of getting the stretch goals, will get what? They get, let's tell you, a 3 add-on of your choice, and all unlock stretch goals. We're actually going to have the creator of this game on the podcast next week. So, yeah, I can't wait for that. And then we got the little Leafs and the Princess Leafs back there in the background fighting. So I better let you go. But anyways, this is a great game. Go ahead and check out ArenaBots on Kickstarter. It looks like a really fun game. Let's tell you a bit about it. ArenaBots is a strategic game of arena type for 2 to 4 players. You play a young pilot of bots who face his opponents for glory in a lab in the rich universe of Eden. You have control of your bots. Make them fight, move, and hack the enemy bots in order to emerge victorious from the fight. Wait to find out more about that game. The Pit, the board game. It's
4-player cooperative dungeon crawler in an epic science-fi universe inspired by the culture classic video game.
And this one is almost done. By the time you hear this episode, they've only got a couple days to go. They're ending this Sunday, June 10th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you check that one out, even if you just want to get a video game for a $5 pledge. And what? They've reached their goal. Wait, no, they're still $400 off of their goal, so they should have it by the time you get it. But let's help them get some stretch goals, shall we? And then next we've got
On Their Merry Way last week.
Yeah, the last week of On Their Merry Way. It's a unique path-building board game starring the underdogs in the Tales of Robin Hood, the greedy merchants, and the merry men. They're getting pretty close to their goal. Like I said, this last week, they're going through Tuesday the 12th of June, so definitely check this one out.
So before my birthday.
Yes, before Princess Leaf's birthday. So, okay.
Next, we have Forgotten Fight.
It's a deck-building card game. You need to choose a team of 3 heroes to prove that you know your best combo. They're going through the 26th of June. Go ahead and back them for $1, and you can find out all the updates. This is a new one, Princess Leaf. It's called Last One In, a zombie-themed card game.
Last One is a 2 to 4 player zombie-themed card game where players race to save civilians or flood their opponent's town and zombies.
With zombies, so that's cool. And
they end on July 3rd.
so right before the holiday, so go ahead and back that one. And then
Monster Card Blvd.
Our Blvd. It's a 2 to 4 player strategic card game featuring 90 silly, seductive, and scary monster cards. Easy to learn and hard to master. They are going through the 17th of July.
And they still have more days, but they passed their goal. They're 2,000, so they're 166 away from their old goal.
Over it, by the way.
Yeah.
And then
They should change it to 3,000.
The next one's Yard of the Month. Smash Gnomes.
The gnome smashing garden sabotaging game with flowers and fun for the whole family. Did I mention gnome smashing? And it ends on July 7th, before the holiday. 5,000 leaves from me.
Yeah, so definitely check out this one. It's a pretty fun game. Let's help them get some stretch goals.
It's really 50 million.
Oh, she changed to 50 million leaves. Anyways, yeah, this is a fun game. We actually played this, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a copyright.
Huh?
We had to borrow it.
No, we got a copy. He sent us a copy.
We had to send it to a different gamer.
That was something else. Ours is upstairs on the shelf, so we can play it again if we wanted to. So yeah, check that game out. And
we're gonna send it to one of you lucky winners.
Now Princess Leaf is making things up.
No, for my birthday batch.
But that reminds me, we do have some winners. Nobody's contacted us yet. The winners of our contest. So let's go ahead and we can tell them who won, and we'll give them until, what should we give them until? We'll give them 1 week.
Till the 24th of July.
No, we're not going to give them that long. We'll give them a week, and then we'll select some new winners. So let's go ahead and tell you who.
Let's give them until my birthday.
No, how about we just, when's your birthday?
Next week.
What day?
On Wednesday.
So you have until next Wednesday, which is what day?
The 13th.
You have until next Wednesday, the 13th of June, to let us know if you want to get your prizes. Let's see the winners of the games. In the U.S., we have...
We have Dwayne.
Yeah, these are kind of hard. So we have, in the winners of the U.S., we have Dwayne Agin, A-G-I-N. If you're one of the lucky winners, send us an email over at GameRelief@GameReliefGo.com, or send us a Facebook message at BlakeLeaf or at Getting Geeky with Game Relief. And then out of the U.S., we have Ian Simmons in Petrie, QLD, Australia. And we also have Stephen Unser, that is over at Port Coquitlam, or how we say that, BC, Canada.
And the person in the U.S. is in the Little Rock, AR.
Yeah, Little Rock, Arkansas. So if you're one of the winners, go ahead and email us by what day?
By the June 13th.
By the June 13th, when Princess Leaf, I don't know if she's doing an episode herself. She talked about it, but go ahead and get us an email over to gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com before June 13th, which is Princess Leaf's birthday.
Or you could give it at 5 or 5:30.
Huh? I don't know. Yeah, you have till 5 or 5:30 that day, Mountain Pacific time. So anyways, this has been, what has this been?
Kickstarter Corner. Now you can get back to your episode, or we'll have to part with you.
Oh yeah, I forgot we actually interrupted your episode. So back with your episode until the end of the show. And yeah, until the end of the show.
And stay geeky, get geeky, and bring others to the geek fold and listen back to your episode, because we're sorry we're interrupting. My dad told me we had to interrupt.
For those who don't know modern, abbreviations, that stands for Too Long Didn't Read. And the reason we came up with that name, TLDR was a thought I had after I had just finished doing the how-to video for Bridges to Nowhere's Kickstarter. And I had a great response from it, not only from the creators of Doomsday Robots, but we were tracking viewerships to backers, and it was almost identical numbers. And right, like we can tell if it was the chicken or the egg, which came first, if they watched the how-to and backed it, or they backed it and then watched the how-to. But it was a really great reception, and so then I was like, okay, well that was great, and I was coming from a photography background, and I always did my own, I don't want to say home videos, but I did videos on the side, and this I found was a prospect of something mixing two things I love, which is working with the camera and board games. And so I started looking into what was out there for how-to videos and run throughs. And, you have your people from the Dice Tower, you have Rodney Smith with Watch It Played, you have Rado with Rado Runs Through. And I don't want to talk bad about these guys, but I'm going to say this: they annoyed me. And it wasn't because of how they were portraying their information, or giving it, because Rodney does a great, very detailed job on it. His camera work is great. His detail is nice. Rado, he's very fun and energetic, but at the same time, you can deliver that same information in 5 to 10 minutes, not in an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's what really annoyed me, was the fact that if I'm going to watch a how-to video, I don't want to be spending 2 hours learning how to play a game that probably plays for an hour or two, because I want to get right into it.
For sure. That reminds me about, what do you call it? I went ahead and watched Rado run through it for, Santorini, because I was really looking forward to that. My wife got it. So I spent 20 minutes on watching the video of Rodney runs through it for Santorini, and then I sat down to show my wife how to play it, and I was very specific and very adamant that we use the God powers, because they did that on Rado, and that's how I know how to play it. But my wife, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to start the basic level, and so then we go ahead and do that, and she goes ahead and beats me. I think we ended up we tried to play 3 games. We only got 2.5 games done, because she kept blowing my socks off the water, like with 3 or 4 moves or whatnot, and she couldn't stop busting a gut from laughing. So I don't even know that we'll be able to ever get that back to the table.
Right. And Santorini is a game that may take 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30. And you said right there, you spent 20 minutes watching Rado how to play it, when there was, play through it, when there's no need for that. People want their information. They want their information now. They want their information to be concise. And that was the idea behind TLDR Game Series. is let's teach people how to play the base game. Give them the information they need that they want as quick as possible. And so that's what started TLDR. And I had a roundtable meeting with Bryn from Doomsday Robots and Nick, who is a professional actor. And we came up in 5 hours with the whole concept of what TLDR was. At its core, starting out, it's going to be a how-to and review company that we can do, for the love of board games, to get people the information they want. And we were able. We did a test on actually teaching. I don't know if you've played this, but game's called Feast for Odin. It's a Uwe Rosenberg game.
Yeah, I don't think I played that. I don't think so.
We got it's a very heavy Euro game, worker placement Euro. We got it down to being able to teach it in 7 minutes, which if you see any other review, how to play on it, they're 30, 45, an hour teaching. So we got it down to 7 minutes as a test, and this is how we want to do it. Give the information as best as possible and an appropriate way that's best for learning, that we can give the players while they're actually at the game store. Watch it. Yes, I want to play this, or no, I don't. So that was the original concept. Well, we've definitely moved quite a far away from there, but that was the original concept, is watching all the how-to videos, me getting annoyed with them and saying we can do this better.
Awesome. Yeah. So like you said, it's gone quite a ways away from there. I remember when I initially found it, you guys were doing a variety podcast.
We started off with, we were going to do quick looks, which are, basically reviews done in under 6 minutes, that are fun. And that was the premise of them, is that, hey, we're going to do this, silly intro. We're going to give it a quick overview of the game. We're going to give quick pros, quick cons. And then instead of doing a point or star system, we're going to just answer 3 questions. Would I recommend this game to another person to play? Would I play it again? And would I buy it? And essentially it was this: if I could recommend this game for someone else to play, then that's basically your first star, because if I can't even recommend the game, that means there's a mechanical flaw to it. Then it went from there, would I play it again? And this is the question where you answer, yes, I would play it again. So that means that not only did I enjoy this game and I found no real flaw to it, it was fun enough for me to, want to give it another try. So if it was that's star 2 and 3, and then would I buy it? And for a lot of people, there's those few select games that you would actually go out and purchase after playing, and that's like the ultimate praise, saying not only would I recommend this game, not only would I play it again, I would buy this. This is 4-star recommendation. Yes, we recommend everybody to at least try it, and if not, buy it, because it's that good of a game.
For sure. And I really like that. Actually, I hate to admit this, but maybe you won't run me through the street, or maybe you'll just go ahead and end the podcast with us now, Marco. But actually, we've kind of stolen that a little bit in a sense when we do our reviews with me and my family. I have to change the wording a little bit, because I asked my kids if they had the money, would they buy the game? But we've kind of stolen the questions a little bit. Fooled ya.
Hey, that's fine. It's for years, man. Because we're all content creators. We're all trying to improve, how we relay information. And I'm kind of glad that you're using it. Remember, I did kind of steal your line too during a podcast with the creators of Knights of Glory, going, "Hey, what game got you into board gaming?"
Awesome. Yeah, I guess so we can kind of give and take. So that's awesome. So, what was you did these cool skits during the podcast that I really liked. Did you have a favorite one of them?
So we had a review podcast. So I talked about the quick looks. Then we had a podcast that we were doing, and that was something that was very ambitious. Was again breaking the mold of doing your standard, hey, let's talk about just games in general, and where we give description of games, talk about games. I was like, let's make it where it's a fun show about games, where it's not just, hey, we're talking about games, but we're doing skits that are involving anything board game instead of just strictly about breakdown reviews and all that about, just particular games in time. But yeah, okay, now we stopped that because unfortunately I am very ambitious in my ideas, and we ran out of time because for those who don't know, Diana's pregnant. Yay! She's pregnant. But yeah, so because their schedule, unfortunately, with pregnancy is very hectic, we had to cut out some things. And unfortunately, the podcast was one of those major things because we were losing out on just individual time when we're not just doing TLDR stuff. So that's why our podcast kind of has gone away for now. But my favorite skit, honestly, was the jingles, where Sean and I wrote our own jingles to Blood Rage and Zombicide.
Yeah, I remember Blood Rage. That was cool. I like that one.
Here in Wolfsburg, creeping around, gathering X's, not making a sound. Kick open the door and run inside, or you won't survive. Zombicide! Zombies all over the town, hacking and slashing and taking them down. Zombies, it's getting dire. Wait, that's right, Dragon Fire. There's the exit, go quick. Ow, I've been hit. There's an arrow on my back and I don't know why. Wait, Steve? Oh no, I die. Zombicide. Some disassembly required. Double tap, tappity tap, or die. Zombie front and zombie back sold separately. Contains small parts of made chickens, dogs, cats, children, salamanders, rhinos, giraffes, lions, large men, small men, big women, spider monkeys, garden gnomes, monsters.
Look at that big thing in the sky, it's a big red fiery ball. Ragnarok's coming for us soon, and it's gonna kill us all. Gather your clan and make a plan before the end of the age. Better watch out, cause if you fight, then Loki's gonna steal your rage. Let's play Blood Rage, let's play Blood Rage, I want to play Blood Rage. Come and play a game with me so Loki can't steal your rage.
Blood Rage, not recommended for children under 13. Blood and Rage sold separately. Not recommended for people under period. No Vikings were harmed in the making of the song. Maybe one.
And then I also like the Christmas. Somebody was visiting Santa Claus, if I remember correct.
Yes, in December we did the Board Gamers Christmas, where essentially a family, mother, son, and father went to Santa Claus in the mall, and the kids started asking for toys and games, and the father was like, no, you don't want to ask for Monopoly. You want to ask for Blood Rage, or you want to ask for Lisboa. And Santa's like, what? You mean games like Chutes and Ladders? No, not that. Come on, Santa. You know.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I really like those. That was awesome. But I really also like your little your review videos where the skit, when it's not just the guy standing there with the hat talking and talking and talking.
Right. Like I said, we wanted to be different. And, that was the main reason for continuing what we do. And kind of how we pivoted direction from the original sit down, because after the table meeting that we had with the three of us, we were like, so who's going to be the host? And because Nick, unfortunately, as an actor, he's busy all the time. He does shows, he has a regular job. Bryn, unfortunately, can't be a part of TLDR because a conflict of interest, being a publisher himself. Sean and Diana, they're perfect. They would be the epitome of someone who is very relatable. It's a couple who plays board games, because we've been playing board games for a long time, and Diana wasn't one that really was having the board games as Sean and I were. Like, first off, I'm going to tell you something, a little secret. Sean and I have probably known each other for 16, 17, almost 20 years now. That's how long our friendship has lasted, and has lasted, not lasted, not past tense, but last.
So, Sean, if you're listening, that's why Marco won't have anything to do with you, because he accidentally used the wrong tense of the word on getting geeky with Game Relief.
That's right. They would be perfect. Bryn brought up the idea about using them, and I was like, yes, why didn't I think of that? And so the very next day, I met with them and pitched them the idea, and they loved it. And so, that's how it got started, was with them. And I think I went off track, but anyway, so that's how it got started, was with them, being my host for the shows. And then basically we just kind of set up the schedule of how we're going to do things. And unfortunately, the how-tos never came into fruition right now, because Nick unfortunately had to drop out. And that was, I think, a very big thing that you need in a how-to video, is a very fun narrator. Because if you lose them in your narration because you're so monotone, you've lost, all your viewers. And if they can't stand watching one video that is 7 minutes long, how can you expect them to watch anything else? So we had to unfortunately scrap the how-tos for now. Then again, like I said, the pregnancy and just schedules becoming very hectic, we had to scrap the podcast. And this is only short term. So right now we're just quick looks, but actually starting this month, we have new content coming out, because I started 6 weeks ago. Yeah. It's your turn. So I actually have two things under my belt. It's your turn live stream, which is basically a how to play and playthrough. So it's fulfilling that portion of my need, for board games and to give people information. And I found out that I actually, if I plan things right, I can do a lot more than what was going to the table. So we now have 3 new pieces of content coming out in the next 2 months.
Awesome. So really quickly, it's your turn. So you do a quick, you have a discussion, and then you learn how to play a game and do a live playthrough, or is that what you said?
All right. So it's your turn is a how to play and play through live stream, where it's not just that either. The way we wanted to make it, again, personal is, or different, is by making it personal. Because most live streams are, hey, look at us, we're playing a board game, ha 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 ha. But you really don't know who your hosts are, because they don't give anything outside of, I love board games, here's it is, and here's me chuckling with my friends. So we're like, okay, what are we going to do to make this different? And so we came up with the idea of doing segments called Getting to Know, which is basically us answering questions of what got us into the industry. So me as a content creator and Bryn as a board game developer and publisher, we answer these questions to get people to, to relate to us. And so we do that. That typically starts every show with either older ones or the most current ones. Then we get right into the how-tos, where Bryn really goes in depth in detail about what is about to happen, and so you understand what moves we're about to make. So it's more of on the lines of Rodney Smith, but not only do you get to see how to play, we then play it with you. And we actually break it up with a commercial, which again is not very heard of in live stream because that's a TV thing. No one on live streams does commercials anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if my kids know what commercials are.
That's right. So we decided, okay, if we're going to do a commercial, what we're going to do is add trivia. So we give you board game trivia of the board game we're playing during the commercial. So it's like, if you ever seen the History Channel where they go to a commercial break and right before the commercial break, they give you like this 15 seconds to read this trivia question. And then when they come back from the commercial break, they answer it for you.
Yeah, it's like that. Or if you're in the doctor's office and they have these multiple choice things and then the commercials. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's what we do is we start off with the trivia question. Then we do what's called It's Your Turn Discusses, where we discuss current topics that are very active on social media. Like the one that is going to be coming up is called Kickstarter Red Flags. And we found this post that posed the question. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he's asked, hey, I backed the Hellboy campaign. I backed it and the expansion that came with it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they came out with a second expansion, and the completionist inside of me wanted to back it, but my total backing will now raise it to above $200, which he wasn't comfortable with paying, so he ended up dropping his backing down to only the original game. And he also said that he was considering just dropping his backing altogether because it was not only pulling on his urge to be a completionist, but also the whole FOMO effect, the fear of missing out. So with that in mind, we said, okay, what other red flags are there for us? And we basically answer that. And then start something new starting next Sunday is after that promo video and the live stream, we're going to do a live discussion. With you, the audience. So whoever logs on to see the live stream, you can tell us your red flags and we will answer you from either my perspective as a backer or Bryn's perspective as a publisher, who is actually a published designer on Kickstarter.
And when will that be? That Sunday, the 10th of June, or when will that be?
Yes, Sunday, the 10th of June. A time hasn't been set yet. We will be posting on our Facebook page when exactly we know what time, and it'll be up by Thursday or Friday. So you'll have a 3-day, 2 to 3 day notice beforehand.
Awesome. And so that's something I've been struggling with because I try to watch the different live streams of different people, and when I do, I like to interact, but I don't know yet what is proper etiquette in a live stream because I'm like constantly commenting and asking questions and stuff. Maybe you could answer that question for me, Marco.
Honestly, any type of feedback is great because I think that engages the host with the audience. And I don't think, there is ever asking too many questions unless you're just saying why, who, what, when, and not forming full sentences and just like every 30 seconds with a but why. I think that would be bad etiquette. But if they're actual, formulated questions, I think ask to your heart's content. That's awesome. I love responding to people, even if it's not a question, even if it's someone saying that I've milked one too many cows.
And I guess worst case scenario, they'll just ignore me, I guess.
That's right. I mean, what is going to happen if, you ask a question they don't answer? We move on, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what we want to make this discussion different on is during this live stream, we welcome all of your questions. We want to answer them all. It may give it, take some time to answer everything that is posed, but we're gonna, keep on the ball, answer your questions, or your own red flags on it, and you get to know from either my or Brent's perspective on them. And I think that's another thing that's different. I mean, the only other people who really do discussions is you have Stegmeyer, who does these great ones. I think it's Wednesday mornings, where he talks about board games.
Yeah, I recently found those. So those are on Wednesday mornings?
Yeah. So it's either Wednesday or Thursday. And then you also have James Hudson, who does fun little live stream discussions and quips. And I think Derek Funkhauser also, he does a great job, but it's not really discussion based. Isn't. It's more about what's coming new. Josh Burnell for Logan.
Yeah, Logan Chops Reviews.
He started doing nice little preview videos as well, live streams. And while those are great and all, again, we wanted to be different and no, we're going to actually post questions and answer them, because it's not many times you get to interact with, either a content creator or, a publisher, or even at the same time.
Yeah, so that'd be awesome. So that's cool. And then you talked about some other, two or three other possible different content you'll be doing with TLDR Game Series coming up.
Yes. So with TLDR, we have some fun things coming up. And again, these are going to be different. So I had to take a drink of water. My throat's a little dry.
I guess that's what I get for talking your ear off for about an hour before we even started.
No, it's all good. So starting on the 3rd, from my intro, I am starting what is called TLDR Game Series Closet, which is essentially the premise behind it is that I have stolen the camera from Sean and Diana, and I'm hidden somewhere filming my own review because I think I can do it better. Even though that's not really the case at all. It's just, there's something that we're not tapping into right now, and that is micro, mini, and filler games. Those games that take under an hour to play. Because honestly, when you're doing once a month quick looks, you got to do those, heavy Euro games to medium games. Light games, there's just not enough content there to do a full production on, and that's what we do on our quick looks.
Okay, so I remember the quick looks, those are once a month, they're big games, and then these other ones are going to be smaller games and weekly.
Right, it's going to be weekly mini games. That it's basically the word closet has multiple meanings in this. First off, yes, I will be in multiple different closets. Every week, I'll be in a different closet.
Won't you run out of closets after a while?
I may, so there might be reusing some, but I might change it up so much that you won't know it's a new closet. Like, wait, I think I've seen those pants before.
There you go. So keep an eye out for Marco in different people's closets. He may be visiting a closet near you.
That's right. I may be in your closet. You never know. That kind of sounded creepy.
Oh boy, yeah. Don't go in other people's closets without written or at least verbal consent.
Right. So that's the very first, very direct meaning is it's happening in the closet. The second meaning is, when you think of closet when it comes to gaming, it comes down to games, kind of retro games or games that don't get played that are put into the closet because either they're old or they're on yourself a shame. So that's another, meaning behind it is that, it's going to be those games that are either retro games or, micro games that just don't get the attention that the big games get. So that's the second meaning behind, closet.
And is there a third?
There was a third, but I forgot what it was.
Oh boy.
It's midnight over here. And actually it's 1:00.
Yeah, we're keeping them up too late. And then there was something else you're going to be doing as well in the summer?
So we're also doing a TLDR Games summer series where Sean and I because he's a teacher. He's off of school now, so he has a lot of free time. Every Tuesday morning, starting on the 12th, we're going to be doing a new game. And the idea behind this one is it's called TLDR Game Series, Summer Series, The Gentleman's Game.
And it's a live thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's a live playthrough of games, and each week we're going to alternate who's bringing the game. So, like, let's say week 1, Sean's going to bring a game in which I haven't played before, and then we're going to make a bet on the game to see who wins. And whatever the bet is, the person the following week has to fulfill that bet. So we're going to try to engage you guys, the audience, with me probably dressed up in drag at some point, or high heels. Who knows? Maybe makeup. I know that's the first bet, is Diana gets to dress us for the next live stream. And then the next week, I'm going to pick a game that Sean has never played. And so we're going to do these live playthrough of games in just very silly manner. Again, just to liven up the effect of live streams. And so it's not just us sitting there playing games. It's us, interacting and having fun, and, hopefully having fun with you guys, the audience. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is going to be live in July. And that is going to be called the Board Game Life. And it's going to be a kind of like a commercial spot series for stereotypical board game things, such as APers or, the Rules Nazi. We're going to make these like little 1 to 2 minute clips of, these stereotypes, or board game mechanics like Scythe and being, I can't remember the name of the group, but the people who pop from lake to lake to lake. We're going to simulate that in real life. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be hilarious.
And that's you and Sean, or who's that?
That's all 3 of us.
All 3 of you, okay.
Yep. And those will go out every 2 weeks starting in July.
Okay, and then we might have to watch out the middle of August with the baby coming.
That's right, August 16th. Sean and Diana's baby. They refused to give me the baby's name.
Well, I thought they were going to name it after you, Marco.
I asked for naming rights, and they said no. I wanted that to be one of our bets, is that I get to choose the at least the middle name, and they didn't like that idea.
Oh boy, I guess we'll have to wait and see for that episode right before then, and see if they'll let you do that as a bet.
I know. So, unfortunately, in August and September, we're gonna be taking a break from Quick Looks, because new parents. It's gonna be stressful, and they're gonna be exhausted. So
I guess you could always take the Quick Looks to the closet.
That's right. The closet's still going to be going on. That's still going to be happening weekly. And that was another reason I wanted to do the closet, was the fact that, Sean and Diana are going to need some time off. And I don't want to miss a beat with missing out potentially on 2 to 3 months with no content.
Cool. Awesome. And will we ever get the podcast back, or that's pretty much gone in the wind?
No, it is not gone in the wind. Sorry, drinking again. Just water, I promise. I mean, it's alcohol. I love me some scotch. So yes, podcast will be coming back, but it won't be until after the pregnancy, and the baby's born and everything. It's just on the back burner for now, because a variety show does take some writing to get in. And a lot of my ideas that spawn for the podcast, Sean actually has to be like, okay, Marco, we're going to need to sit down real quick, because it's a great idea. I'm not saying it's not, but this would be better as a video and not a podcast. The Santa Claus almost didn't happen because I had to fight for that one. But Sean was like, yeah, I can see that as a video, but not a podcast. No, it will be something different, but be happy. Those ideas are coming to us through the Board Game Life. We found a place for them. So it's nice to have Sean there, and especially Diana, because I get a little bit too ambitious with my ideas, and when that happens, it's nice to have that person to be like, okay, let's settle down. um, so yes, they will be back. It probably won't be until probably 2019 though.
2019, and then it'll still be a monthly variety show.
Hopefully by that time we're doing it full time and it can be bi-weekly.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to complain about that. So
I know, right?
whatever we can do to help push that that would be great with me.
Oh, hey, you know what? Maybe if that once that comes back, we can have you on and you can do a skit with us.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. Awesome.
The the overly polite gamer, and I'm just thinking it's like, because I don't know about you, but our game nights sometimes get very offensive, and that's just because we're just very close friends who can call each other horrible names and laugh about it, and then you're just kind of the guy going, guys, I don't feel comfortable with that.
So you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Gamer Life. Whenever they can get the TLDR Game Series variety podcast back, it's going to be bi-weekly, hopefully, come 2019.
And Blake will be on it.
So hopefully that'll be good. So, or bi-monthly. Did you say bi-weekly or bi-monthly? Let's go ahead and say bi-weekly.
I said bi-weekly. I did say bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Yeah, that's what I need because, yeah, I love to. I'm over here making 3 or more a week, depending.
I know. I can't keep up.
Oh boy!
Like every time I turn around and.
Yeah, I just blew a couple people out of the water that have been doing it for 2 or 3 years or whatnot, and I'm like, wow, if I would have known how much work this took coming in, I don't know. Maybe I would have second guessed myself. Luckily, I don't have a Sean to tell me to slow down, maybe.
Well, doesn't your wife be like, okay, excuse me, we're going to have to take a step back?
Yeah, we've had to do that. What do you call it? It was that first summer. Well, I've only been doing it just over a year now, but this last summer, it was like every day of the week I was interviewing, and so now I've cut back to just Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, well, that's a good step back in my opinion, because yeah, you're still outputting 3 and 4 a week.
Yeah, 3 to 6 a week, depending on how many interviews I get or whatnot.
Like I haven't caught up to the Jamie Stegmaier episode yet. I'm that far behind.
Oh boy, yeah, you got to get listening, I guess. I guess during the break, while they're pregnancy or whatnot, you can go ahead and download the rest of the podcast.
Oh, you think I'm ever going to take a break? No, man. I'm with you. I want to keep on producing content.
Yeah, especially if Sean's too busy being a new dad to tell you to back down.
I know. I might become too overambitious again.
So, per se, somebody's fallen asleep, Marco. It wouldn't be because of you and all this new great content that you'll be bringing us. It'd be because of me and my podcast, like you talked about. I'm releasing way too much. We're at the 1st of June, and we've already released 87 episodes for the year. And so they get a little tired of hearing me drone on and on, or they just go ahead and stop downloading after a while, like yourself. But now they're suddenly jolted awake, or they started downloading again because they have a little bit of time to listen to podcasts again. Why should they take a chance on everything great that TLDR Game Series will be putting out coming in the near future, especially with all the other great content creators that are out there currently?
I say give us a chance because we want to be something different and we want to entertain you. But you know what? Don't exclude anybody else, because everybody puts out a lot of effort into their content, and everybody has their own personal likes and dislikes. Now, we may not be for everybody, but we are for some. And take a chance, take a leap. I think you'll enjoy what you'll see. And if you don't, let us know and we'll change the format. So yeah, give us a chance.
Yeah, I told them, and now maybe they'll be free my podcast.
And probably because I give stuff away every month. That's another reason.
Wait, what? Oh, you do giveaways?
Every month when we do a quick look, we give away either the game we've just reviewed or something better. Like when we did Dice Forge, I gave away gift cards to your local game shops. So the winners got to tell me what they wanted, and like for Dinosaur Island, we backed a game for one of our viewers.
Well, that's stupid. Where have I been? I just go and watch the quick looks. I don't pay attention to any of that.
Yeah, you gotta read our post. They come with the quick looks. They say, "Hey, make sure to comment on the video, and you'll be entered to win our giveaway for such and such." Or if you want an extra entry, subscribe to our channel and or our Facebook page. Sometimes we'll say stuff like, "Hey, here's this question, answer it in this type of way." Like I think for the Grim Forest, we asked, "What game were you on the fence about for an extra entry?" So yeah, we run giveaways at least once a month.
Will this just be on the quick looks, or will you be doing it more often than giveaways? Because I know we got to help you clean your house out.
Giveaways are expensive. We don't get anything for free yet. So yeah, it's going to stick to probably just once a month for now.
I feel your pain.
Especially Gaia Project. Buying that game twice was a heavy hit, but it was worth it because we got to share what we love with our viewers, and I'm sure all of our people who've won their games except for Melissa, who's waiting on the Dinosaur Island campaign to fulfill her order. They're enjoying the games because most of them, because we'd buy them again. Obviously, we felt the need that these are great, except for Dice Forge. Dice Forge, I hate you.
Oh boy, you heard it here. Well, probably not first, but you heard it here on Getting Geek Game Relief.
Yeah, you heard it first on Game Relief. My own feelings towards Dice Forge because you only got to hear Sean and Diana's.
Yeah, were they quite different? Is your idea different than theirs?
Okay, so they were nicer than I would have been. We'll just put it that way. Because so initially what the whole process of the quick looks is we play the game at least 4 to 6 times, and so that's why it takes so long for us to put out the quick looks, is because we do that, and then I go write a intro and then take their outline of pros and cons and write the script. Again, knowing Sean for as long as I have, I kind of know how to write how he talks. Diana's a different story, so a lot of times, she'll be like, I would never say that. Marco, no. Do you think I would sound that dumb? Let's no. But
yeah, so I remember, now that you say it, I vaguely remember after they did their quick look on Dice Forge, I was a little worried. We still haven't got ours to the table, but I was a little worried, and I think I even discussed it with my wife, that I was a little worried for when we do get ours to the table.
It's not a game for me because of the fact that it's a pure luck-based game. Yes, you can mitigate that luck by replacing the dice tiles on the dice, which I think that's the best mechanic of that game. That it's so much fun to be like, ooh, what do I want to increase my chances on this time? But so you're still rolling dice, and then once you finally do build your resource engine, the game ends.
Oh boy, so it's already over.
Yeah, so for me, it's not a game I would really recommend out to most people. I mean, I would recommend it to the casual gamer. I think they'll have a great time playing that game. But experienced gamers, no, stay clear. Would I play it again? Honestly, if there was an expansion, that's a game that I feel is also lacking in its cards. The first 2 to 3 times you play, it's fun because the cards are fresh. but they don't have that much variety in the cards. So you lose the sense of, of freshness to that game after, like I said, about the second or third time, because you've seen these cards before. Even if you mix and match them, you've seen them, and it becomes dull. So yeah, I would only play it again, and I would not buy it again. I regret purchasing it.
There you go. We like to make a green podcast around here. So if anybody in relationship to creating Dice Forge or expansions ever comes out with an expansion, we might be able to get Marco to play it again.
That's right, and you're gonna hate me for this. It's actually from the same creator of Seasons, which I hate.
Yeah, I remember having that discussion with you as well. Well, I'm going to go on continuing to love Seasons or whatnot. We've still got to get the expansions to the table or whatnot. So I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. Okay, Marco?
Okay. I will give you that, Blake.
I won't cut the podcast off. I know I need to get to bed pretty soon here, and you probably do too. So let's go on. The next portion of our podcast, as you've listened, and I don't think we've changed that much since the ones you haven't been able to download yet. But the next portion of our podcast is called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an app, be it for your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or even a video game. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be related to tabletop board gaming or creating content in this instance. Is there an app you use a lot of, Marco, that we can talk about for a moment?
Oh, I've come prepared.
Oh, good.
Through the Ages, the app.
What can you tell us about Through the Ages app?
Okay, so if you've played Through the Ages, that game is, first off, it's a phenomenal game, but it is a long game. And especially with the more players you add, this game can take up to 6 hours to play if you're playing with 4 players. So the app is basically the entire game unadulterated in an app, which is great. It's one of the best board game apps I've ever had and played. And you can play it either just against the computer, or you can play campaigns, or you can play it multiplayer with your friends. And honestly, I've been yelled at quite a few times because while I'm playing board games at a table, I'm also on the side playing Through the Ages with somebody else.
Oh, double dipping.
I am. I double dip a lot when it comes to Through the Ages and board games. The addiction is real.
Well, awesome. So with Through the Ages, is that something that I would have had to play Through the Ages, the board game, to be able to play the app, or how's that go?
It gives a great how to play at the very beginning, and then it runs you through a few solo games, and even the campaign games. It's basically teaching you how best to play the game. And there's so many different ways you can play this game that there is no wrong way, to be honest.
Is it going to be a 6-hour app, and can I pause it?
You can, if you're playing, actually, no matter what way you're playing, you can pause at any time. So let's say if you're playing against AI, you just don't come back to it until you're ready to play. If you're playing against multiplayer, you can set the pace of the game. Like I typically have it where we can take 24-hour turns if we need to. So that way, if you're playing throughout the day and then you get busy, you set the phone down, then maybe 8 hours later you come back, and it's still your turn.
Okay, so I usually do this with board when we're talking about board games, but this is kind of a board game being an app and all. So I suffer from analysis paralysis. So if I play Through the Ages with friends, are people going to hate me?
Yes. Hold on. You don't even have to finish that. Yes, you will. And yes, they will. Through the Ages is a prime target for APers because there are so many options. Like this is a perfect game that you can start from the beginning and start planning your turns. So yes, you can highly suffer from AP from this. And yes, people
and my friends will hate me more.
If you're playing on the table, yes, I would hate you for it.
Oh boy. But in the app, it might be okay because they might think I'm not really taking a chance to learn. They think I'm just busy doing something else instead of trying to decide what I'm going to do.
You'll have more freedom with the app. But if you're ever at the table playing that game, I will give you 2 minutes to take a turn. I will put you on a timer, Blake. I'm like, that's it? You see this hourglass that's for 2 minutes? It's done.
Oh boy, yeah, that's why my wife, she gets mad about me taking forever to take my turns and whatnot.
Yeah, that's my standing when it comes to APers. I'll give you 2 minutes to take a turn.
Well, there you go. That's a good idea. So, is this an app that's going to cost, or is it free, and is it on iOS and Android?
To be honest, I got this at launch, so I don't know. I think there is a cost, but it's not too much. And I believe it is on both Android and iOS.
Okay, awesome. And since you said you came prepared, maybe you're ready for this, or maybe you're not. If you own the rights to Through the Ages the app, what would be one thing you would do to make it better or fix it?
Nothing. It is the perfect board game app.
Awesome. And I guess so. We already answered the question because we try to make a green podcast. So we can go back and if somebody wants to listen to a green podcast, they can go ahead and take what you said about making Dice Forge better by getting an expansion.
Right. So that one definitely needs an expansion, and it needs a little better dice mitigation, in my opinion, because it is a game where you're supposed to be able to increase your chances of rolling the things that you need. And again, if you don't replace your tiles fast enough, you're still going to be dealt with really horrible possibilities, probabilities, and percentages. So I think better dice mitigation in the cards that you get would definitely enhance this game.
Okay, so awesome. There you go. What about seasons? How would you fix that? Or you just think that's wrong?
You don't. You throw it in the trash.
Oh boy, oh boy. The podcast is over. Goodbye. Have a great night, everybody.
You put some lighter fluid on it. No, seasons. I mean, honestly, the only reason I'm not a fan of it because it suffers from the whole effect of you can't play with seasoned players if you're a casual player, because seasoned players know the synergies of the cards, which a casual player will not. So if you're playing with a casual player, you kind of need to let up on your combos, because there are a lot of combos that comes with seasons, and there's a lot of reading that comes with a season. So a player can truly feel overwhelmed. And for me, I'm more on the casual side of seasons because I never played a lot, but the people who I play games with have played a lot, because that was one game that got played almost weekly for a long time. So that's why I don't like it, is because it suffers from that effect of it's not a game that is compatible between casual and seasoned veterans.
Okay, so how would we fix that? Besides the trash is off the table, Marco.
I mean, honestly, I believe if they installed some sort of rubber band point system effect, that would definitely help, because season's a game that you can definitely halfway through know if you're going to win or lose. Because halfway through, if I see that someone's already at 70 points and I'm only at 20 because they've been leeching my points the whole entire game, I know there's no way I can possibly catch up. So I think, installing some sort of limitation on those take that cards would definitely help and add a kind of more of a rubber band effect where players can catch up.
Okay, cool. Like I said before, we try to make a green podcast. So if anybody has anything to do with development of seasons is listening, go ahead and make some kind of a rubber band effect so we can help Marco bring his game out of the trash and back to the table.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think he's released enough expansions for it, and I don't think he's coming back.
Oh boy! Well, hopefully they'll do something. But
he's moved on. He's moved on to more better games, and even though it's hard for me to say, but Dice Forge, in my opinion, is better than Seasons. I'm sorry. That's just because of my sheer loathing for it.
Oh boy, we'll have to get that to the table then next, so I can hear. Yeah, we can fight about that one next. And just to answer everybody's question, at least for iOS, Through the Ages, it is $9.99 on iOS. I don't know about Android or whatnot. So awesome, but is it worth that $9.99, Marco?
Yes. If you are a deep strategist or you liked heavy Euro games, it is so worth the $9.99 because you'll find yourself playing it every day like I do. Like I actually have a person I play through the ages with every day. Like we start first thing in the morning and we probably end at night, and we're just playing throughout the day whenever we have a free moment. So yeah, it's definitely worth the money.
Or if they want to be able to play through the ages with you, but not have to suffer with that 2-minute time marker or whatever.
That's right. Because there's nothing I can do. Absolutely nothing I can do to you. Like I can make comments, but is that really going to affect how you play? No.
Awesome. Well, we don't want to keep you all night, but Minus coming there to, I think you're based out of Texas possibly. Minus they're coming there to Texas to stalk you personally. How would people go about keeping up with you or TLDR Game Series or all the constant ideas that are flowing through your brain and being shut down by Sean?
All right, so there's multiple ways you can keep up with us. We have our Facebook page, TLDR Game Series. We also have our YouTube channel and Twitch that we put all of our live streams to. You'll also see all of our quick looks, all of our board game life and closet, all on YouTube as well. And you can go to our website at www.tldrgameseries.com. And if you don't want to catch me there and you want to catch me with a how to play or discussion or just getting to know me, you can go to It's Your Turn live stream on Facebook. We're also on Twitch and YouTube under It's Your Turn live stream. Or you can join my community at Board Game Haven. The community Sean and I came up with that will connect gamers with content creators, so that there's little separation between the two.
And that's a Facebook group, if I recall correctly.
Yep, Facebook group. So there are so many different ways you can contact me and a lot of different projects going out. So yeah, how did I find time to do this podcast with you?
Yeah, we kept you up too late. That's why.
That's right.
Interesting. Well, yeah, well, like I said, we don't want to keep you all night, but we wanted to thank you for coming on, getting geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Marco.
Well, thank you for having me, Blake.
No problem. That was a great show. I hope you'll enjoy Marco and his new show coming up. But anyways, it's time for us to part ways again. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and let you go.
We'll part ways again. So say geeky, get geeky, and bring others into the geek fold again.
Yes, and this is
Ben getting geeky with Game Relief. Oh, remember to sign up for a mailing account.
Yeah, sign up for a mailing list over at GameReliefGo.com.
And you guys, you only have till the 13th of June to answer back.
Yeah, the winners of our contest. Anyways, go ahead and get
geeky, say geeky, and bring others into the geek fold. This has been Princess Leaf and Game Relief. Goodbye.
Signing off.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.